In this video, we're going to discuss the Inventory 1, Purchases, New Purchase Order menu. You can use the Purchase Order menu to place purchase orders of raw materials or merchandise to vendors before actually purchasing and receiving the goods. You can manually enter each slip in the New Purchase Order menu, or if there is an existing sales order or purchase plan data, you can load the data and apply it to create a new purchase order slip. And if you have a large amount of data to enter, you can use the ECOUNT Web Uploader button at the bottom. You can download the Excel template at the top left and enter each field following the respective directions, and copy and paste the data and click Save to batch upload data. And right now I'm going to show you how to manually enter data in the new purchase order menu. So firstly, in the date field, enter the date when you placed or will place the purchase order. And enter the corresponding vendor of the purchase order. And then you can see that the program has loaded the PIC of the vendor you've entered. In the Customer Vendor Registration menu, if you set the PIC of each vendor in the Credit Limit and Price tab, the program will automatically load that information to inventory slip input screens. And if this particular purchase order will be managed by another PIC, you can click the magnifying glass and modify the loaded PIC. And in the Location In field, enter the location that the items will be stored when the purchased items are actually received later. And in the Transaction Type field, if tax will be applied to the purchased items, select Taxable, and if not, select Non-Taxable. Also, if the purchase will be a foreign currency transaction, select the corresponding currency type. And if the currency you need has not been entered in the program yet, you can register the currency in the Foreign Currency Setup menu. In the Delivery Date field, enter the date by which you need to receive the purchased items. And if you need an additional field for data input, click Option in the upper right corner and click Input Screen Setting and click on the default template or add a new template. In the Input Screen Setting window, hover over a field at the top and click Add. Add the desired field, and then hover over the added field and click Setup. In the Setup window, you can edit the display name of the field. I will enter Destination. And in the Setup window, if you go to the bottom, you can also set the field's default value. Click Designate Manually, and you can either manually designate the desired default value by directly entering it, or you can select another option, such as Load Info, and have the program automatically load the information of the vendor entered in the input screen. And going back to the input screen, once you've finished entering the top section, you can manually load item codes, or you can load an existing sales order or purchase plan slip and apply the data to the input screen. And once you've loaded items, the program will automatically load the purchase price that you entered when registering each item in the Item Setup menu. And you can also apply one of the price A to J prices that you've entered by selecting each item and clicking Change Price in the middle. you can select the desired price and click Apply button and verify the modified price. Also, you can apply a specific percentage or amount by selecting the adjustment option. You can select either percentage or price. And if it's discount, enter the percentage in minus. And to raise the price, enter in plus percentage. Then select the decimal places and apply. Also, if the price includes tax, click on the price field once and press F4 key on your keyboard. Then the price amount will be divided into pre-tax and tax amount. Also, if you want to verify the quantity on hand of each item in the present input screen, click View Inventory Quantity button in the middle. And you can verify the inventory balance. And you can also verify the past transaction history by using View Transactions button in the middle. You can hover over the button and select the desired menu. Also, apart from the delivery date entered at the top section, you can also set the delivery date individually by each item. If each item needs to be received on different dates, use the delivery date field at the bottom and set the dates differently. And then if you click Save at the bottom, the slip will be saved and go to the Purchase Order List menu. And if you click Save and Print, a preview screen will be displayed at the same time you save the slip. And if you have your company's own template for purchase order, or if you want to edit the displayed columns and fields, you can click Option at the top right, and you can add a new template to edit the template. And in the preview screen, you can print out the displayed purchase order or export it in Excel and PDF and send it to vendors via email. And if you go to the Purchase Order List menu, all the purchase orders you've entered in the new Purchase Order menu will be displayed in the In Progress tab. That is, only the purchase orders that are in Progress tab are a valid purchase order. And if a purchase order has been completed and no longer valid, you can click Finish on the right side of the corresponding purchase order and move it to the Finish tab. And you can also move it back to the In Progress tab by selecting the slip and clicking Cancel Finished at the bottom. And since the valid purchase order slips are in the In Progress tab, you can link only the slips that are in Progress tab to the Purchases module and create a new purchase slip. And also, in the Purchase Order List menu, if you select all the displayed data and click Email button at the bottom, you can send all of them to each corresponding vendor by batch via email. In the Send Email screen, you can set the details such as sender, sender email, and email subject. And if you want to set the default value for each field, you can click Option and click each corresponding button to set the settings. And also, in the Recipient Information field at the bottom, the email address that you entered in the Customer Vendor Setup menu will be loaded. And if you want to have your company employee to receive the purchase order as well when sending out the purchase orders to vendors, select Send in the Send to Sender's Email field. And at the top right side of the Purchase Order List menu, you can find the Sent Fax tab. If you hover over the tab, you can go to each tab, such as Sent Email and Unsent, and separately view the emails you have sent and the ones that you haven't sent yet. And if we go back to the In Progress tab, you will see the e-approval button at the bottom. With this button, you can submit an existing purchase order to the e-approval module for approval. And for more details, please refer to the GroupWare e-approval video. And please take note that if your user ID's GroupWare use status is do not use, the e-approval button will not work. And in addition, if you want to view the past purchase order history, click Search in the upper right corner and set a longer date range and search. And you can also set the other search conditions and filter the search results. And if you want to edit the list displayed in the Purchase Order Lists menu, click Option at the top right, Template Setup, New Template. And you can first add a new template, then customize the list. And lastly, you can also use the Purchase Order Status menu. In this menu, you can verify the purchase orders whose date is within the date range. And you can also aggregate data by various conditions and view data in various forms. And if you click Search, you can view data in reports form. And template setup is also available for the purchase order status menu. And you can print out the displayed screen and export it in Excel and PDF and view data in a graph form.